Kokonas co-owns the Alinea group of restaurants, which he co-founded with Grant Akatz in 2004, and is the founder and CEO of Tock Inc. Founded in 2014, Tock is a cloud-based reservation system which now serves over 5,000 restaurants, wineries, farms, and art galleries in 28 countries.
Yeah, the dark kitchen, that's one thing, but delivering the food, that's another thing. And people might not know that, but there's a lot of ways to deliver food. And that's what you are going to talk about. Nick, welcome to Eating the Gap.
Great to be here, thanks.
So tell us, what you think, well, you take a bike, you just deliver the food and that's it, but that's short-sighted.
Well, sure. I mean, as soon as it gets on that moped, that bike, that scooter, whatever it may be, oftentimes that's when things start going south. With Tock, when COVID hit, we had thousands of restaurants using Tock to connect directly with their customers, often among high-end Michelin-starred restaurants, but also increasingly into selling experiences, not just a normal reservation. When COVID hit, we realized that we had the data structures in place to really help kitchens maintain a connection with their customer and offer not just delivery, but pickup as well. In many, many cities around the world, we have cars. They are enclosed with glass and steel, and you can actually go pick up your food. In some places like New York City, Hong Kong, that may be very difficult, but in other places, it's pretty easy to do. And so we offered this up as a way to very effectively connect with their diners, to allow really high-end restaurants, but also ordinary restaurants, the pizza place around the corner, to connect with their customer and to offer food pickup. And what we found was that, as the last speaker was talking about, restaurants are entrepreneurs, chefs are incredibly creative. And once you have that constraint in place and you say, okay, this food needs to be delivered or it's going to get picked up, all of a sudden you can reimagine how you do the food, how you prepare it, what you allow the end consumer to do. So it's not just a hamburger and fries going out the back door. It's something much more elevated than that. And what we've seen, and we've added over 3,000 restaurants just in the past 4 or 5 months, what we've seen is that people around the world have been incredibly creative in offering a little bit of hospitality to go, not just a meal.
Yeah, I must say, like the previous speaker said, COVID has put everything a little bit in the fast lane, right? Is that your experience as well?
Yeah, well, we realized that there was an existential risk to our industry, both on the restaurant side. I own the Alinea group with Chef Akatz. And so immediately we saw our reservations go to zero, and we had to shelter in place, as many parts of the world did. But then, as with my CEO of Tock hat on, we had clients in Italy and in Hong Kong where the reservations went down weeks ahead before the US, unfortunately. So we began preparing for this. And normally our development cycle for a technology product would be in the realm of 6 to 12 months, and we did it in 10 days.
10 days. Who did you bribe?
Yeah, we didn't speak
Who
much.
did you bribe to
hair.
do that?
I had black hair before this started. I've gone gray very quickly. I'm looking at the video of myself going, holy cow, I look terrible. But like many, many people in this, every single day is a bit of a struggle. It's not fun, but as humans, we all need to eat. And then beyond that, we need that connection. Restaurants don't just supply food. They supply community, culture, hospitality. They are places where we celebrate the great moments of our lives with our friends and family.
Yeah.
And it's very, interesting how one of the largest conversations that's happening as we shut down our cities is around food culture and around restaurants, because it is such a big part of our respective cultures. And so we just wanted to allow the industry to have a chance of surviving and building a bridge to the post-pandemic world.
Yeah, isn't it a hard thing to get everyone on board to do that like that? Because some people are just like in their, perhaps a classical way of viewing their business.
It is always surprising to me which chefs and restaurant owners are really fast to change and understand that you need to see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. I think when this began, there were a lot of people who said, well, this is going to be gone in 2 weeks or 2 months. And we very quickly went to a mindset of this is going to be off and on for 18 months. And the reason we did is because we read the history books. You know, the pandemic in 1918, 1919 lasted 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that this will happen more quickly because we have better technology and the world of science is
the vaccine.
Expanding together. But in the meantime, we need to do what we can to help our communities and help our industry. And so, you know, for the Alinea group, we did 1,000 carryout meals just yesterday alone with our 3 restaurants. And that's been able to sustain not all of our employees, but a good number of them. And, you know, as we come up to American Thanksgiving next week, we're going to do 6,000 meals that get picked up in 2 days to try to give people some semblance of a holiday.
Yeah. Have you been reaching out to other restaurateurs with your project, with your app, with your way of thinking, and how did they respond?
Yeah, every day. All I do these days is talk to other restaurant owners, enterprise level clients like ski resorts, wineries. We have hundreds and hundreds of wineries that are utilizing Tock for tours and whatnot. And all of that can be found at exploretock.com. But really it is that mindset shift that you're talking about that is the critical thing, which is I said to our team, our restaurants don't exist anymore. You know, it's like for a while we were doing some patio,
radical.
we did an outdoor pop-up and whatnot. But Alinea was a Michelin 3-star restaurant. And there is no way that we can do that sort of cuisine and that sort of experience in the current environment, nor should we. We should be safe first and foremost above all else, right? Yeah. And so once we made that decision that our restaurants don't exist, then making these kinds of changes and these kinds of innovations is actually pretty easy. It's not, you know, there aren't a lot of choices. So you just have to do that in order to do some semblance of what you normally do. And dare I say that at moments it's very gratifying and almost fun because we've been able to do some really cool work over the last 6 months.
Yeah. Do you think that things are going to go back to normal when the vaccine is there, or do you think that it's going to be a blend of all different kinds of approaches to the food business?
Yeah, well, I think like your last speaker was saying, I do think that doing both. I know for our restaurant group, we will end up doing both probably forever. But it also depends on what demand is. You know, what happened in 1920 around the world? Well, people after being cooped up, I'm in my house right now. After being cooped up, I know I want to go out and party. Yeah. I want to travel and see the world again. I would love to leave Chicago and go to Europe right now.
You're welcome.
I think
you're welcome. If it's possible, you're welcome.
Well, I don't
for
know
our next edition.
I'm out there just yet. But,
yeah.
You know, once it's safe to travel again, I think people will very, very quickly do so. I know that, you know, our clients are itching to come back to the restaurant, and I think there'll be a tremendous party. I also do think that there will be demand for this new elevated carryout. I do believe that the hybrid model works. And it works in ways that even I was very surprised by. You know, we now have satellite delivery services for our own restaurant where we bring, you know, Chicago has about 3 million people in the city proper, but then there's suburbia around it of about 6 million people. So now we're doing nightly deliveries for pickup at satellite locations. And oftentimes those are busier than the city because they're population centers, but they're less served. So there's so many ways of being creative, and it unlocked our ability to think a little bit outside the box that we were in.
Yeah, and there's always hope that we should remember, I think. That's a yes.
Tremendously. There's that great German commercial that came out, in the last week where all we really have to do is sit inside for a little bit, order carry out, binge watch a great TV show, and we can get through this. And that's what we all have to do. Okay. That's certainly what we need to do in the U.S. But in the meantime, the food service industry is being incredibly adaptive. I'm incredibly proud of so many restaurants that we work with that have really supported their staff and their communities. Okay, well, enjoy your series and keep up with the good work. I think we're going to need that in the future. So thanks for joining us at Eating the Gap, and see you soon, hopefully. Thank you very much. Great to be here. Thank you. You all.